And hello, and good day to Northworthy Sagas and Stories. I'm your host, Braggy Magnusson. Yes, a sort of Magnar. As you know, I'm a Viking, I'm a warrior. And I'm here with my very good friend and Viking.
I'm Egil Thorson, Viking warrior, trader, storyteller and runecaster.
Was hail. Good health to you, Egil.
Oh, cheers. And what's on the programme today? I mean, this is 14.
This is the weekly Viking vlog episode number 14.
Who'd have guessed we'd ever got there?
I never would have thought you would say that in a vlog.
It's only about 14th time or so.
Yes,
Yeah.
and of course number 14 is a very lucky number for me.
Alright.
Yes, because it's the 14th regiment I love and belong to. Anyway, but that's another story and another period of history. So we've done the host intros. What have you been up to in the last few days? What you're not told in the last vlog?
Not a lot actually. Time has flown by. It seems like only a few minutes ago since we were doing the last one.
Yes, well, strange that it was.
Yeah, you've ruined the illusion.
Or was it?
No, well, you know, usual sort of thing. Thinking about this, we've got the riddle coming up, the answer, and the next one.
And we also got the poll answer. Where Egil, which hat suits Egil?
Oh, of course, I didn't know that. I
Yes,
don't know myself.
I've actually not checked the poll, but I
Oh.
do gather the most. I'll tell you about it as we go
Oh, right.
along.
This sounds interesting.
So you know, in the last week I've been I'm always constantly working on updating things. I bought some new bigger whiteboards so I can keep track of the ideas we're working on the series. So that's all very good for the channel. I've been doing a bit of sewing. I've actually finished my cloak. So I've actually gone round now. So you can see on the hedge of all of this,
Oh,
it's all
yeah.
been done.
Is there a special name for this kind of stitch?
This is a Londinium wick. There's just a couple of things I've got to do, tie up a couple of loose threads. And I've also embroidered around the eye holes.
Oh, we're getting
No.
posh now.
And you know, so there's that. I've done that. That probably took me about 3 hours to sew around the three edges.
Have you put Derby County on the back?
No. Why is it grey?
No.
Oh yeah. That's something else. Once you're
Yeah.
Derby born, you always love the Rams.
I'm not, but...
Of course, I didn't have football back in the day, but I allegedly had a game called Kickhead.
Well, there
This is
is...
a joke, of course.
There is actually a story that perhaps the heads of people who were executed were used as football.
That's it. The
Yeah, whether that's-
kickhead. You get a leather bag and you put your head in it, and you kick a head about the field.
Whether that's true or not, I have no ideas. I take no responsibility.
Yes. Do you know the answer to that? Please leave it in a comment.
I'm going to have a drink of water.
So I've been doing a bit of sewing, bit of research, thinking about other content we're going to make. Which we talked a lot about that in the previous vlog, which you would have seen the day before. As this is a special vlog weekend where you get 2 vlogs for the price of 1. It's what you call in the UK a bug off. If you
Yeah.
buy one, you get one free. In this case, you get one published free and you get another one free.
Sounds good to me.
So,
What else have we got in line here?
we talked about mystery ideas. Now, we have it back. Although this is going to be a shorter vlog, we are a bit tight for time today. But we do have the item back which you love, and that is what's in Braggy's bucket. And today we have 2 things in the bucket,
Oh, matron.
and we still have a lot of the old things from the previous times.
Yeah,
The mandrel,
You're right.
the hammer,
We haven't bothered
emptying
emptying
the
it out.
bucket, and not even got a big horn in here. So today, and I hope it's in there now, because it'd be most embarrassing that it's not in there.
You've got the other thing you can show. See what happens with it.
Yeah,
Has he found it?
no, it's there on the floor. So this is the mystery item.
Joy of television. Yes.
It's a leather thing, it's made of leather. Now the mystery on this is this a Viking Dark Age item? Or is it a later item?
Oh, we're looking at me. I don't know.
What do you think it could be used for? Now, it has a little bit of a leather thonging hanging down.
A hat for a mouse.
Could be. I know a folk tale about a mouse and a sausage I'm going to tell soon.
Ooh.
Called The Mouse and the Sausage. Now, if this bit of it has a thing where you could possibly put your finger.
Could it be a
could that be
nose
tie
cover?
round? I don't know.
Could it be a nose cover? You know that you put on
No.
cold days.
No.
No.
You know you get your nasal cover, your helmet.
Yeah.
Is it to go back in your nasal and you tie it round so you got a warm nose?
Do you know? I have no idea.
So this is the mystery item. Now, is it a Dark Age Viking item, or do you think it's much later?
It's not what we're all thinking, but won't say.
If you have a clue, now I thought perhaps you got a banged finger. You could, you all bang your nail now and again. There you go. You got your hammer. You're hammering along. Ow! You bang your hammer.
Oh, your beauty.
So I thought, well, perhaps you could put it around a bag thumb or something.
Yeah.
Or perhaps it's for leather work. So you can decide the mystery item.
Who knows?
And it's only a quick one, and I'll have to find another one now, which I may struggle with. And it took a while for that one to be found.
Surprised me anyway. So, what's next on our
Well, you're going to talk about Thor, but I thought today, let's talk about one of the greatest gods in the Norse pantheon, and one of my favourite gods, Thor.
Well, Thor. He, his ranking in Norse society was varied. Some think he was actually originally the god of gods, not Odin, but he was demoted and became one of the sons of Odin. He's always portrayed as having long red hair and a fiery temper, but he was the god of farmers, the everyday god, if you like. If you're a farmer and you wanted your crops growing, you had a word with Thor.
We forget that, don't we?
Yeah. Everyone, he sort of gets a bad press, and there's a reason for that, in that Thor was in competition with Jesus at the beginning of Christianity, and of course it's in their interest to promote Jesus above Thor.
Of course, the White Christ.
And also, apparently the robin redbreast was known as Thor's bird. I don't know any more than that on that one. His hammer, Maljolina, means grinder, and he would throw it at the frost giants, smash their heads, and anybody who annoyed him, basically. He was married to the goddess Sif, who had long golden hair, which those of you who listened to our saga will understand that. But he is the most, as you can see, both Braggy and I are wearing amulets to Thor. The Thor's hammer
gives you strength, I think.
Yeah, and there are many sagas about him. And the thing I like about especially Thor is he is fallible. He makes a mess of things sometimes, but he always brings it right. Whilst yes, he's able to explode into such fearsome anger, he's also willing to have a laugh.
Yeah.
And you'd think he and Loki would be deadly enemies. They're not.
Sneezing.
Bless you.
Good old.
And there are sagas where those two hang about. And these are expressions of, if you imagine the human character as a diamond, different facets. And they're not all good, they're not all bad. And they are human.
Of course, yes.
And Thor, as I say, he has the honour, he can't walk across the Rainbow Bridge Bifrost. It's said that if he does, he will break it. We know of his great appetites for
in the
food,
movie.
for drink. Yeah, he's not supposed to. There's a big clause on it, has to go the long way around, whichever way that is.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But having said that, he protects the gods and protects humanity, and that's a big important thing, because according to Norse law, if Thor wasn't there, the giants would kill the gods and then they'd start coming and killing us off. So
Not good.
no, it's ruined your day a tad.
Well, definitely ruin your breakfast.
But this is where the idea of people being lucky with red hair comes from. Thor, the red haired, and that's a thumbnail sketch, if you like, of Thor. You'll be hearing more about Thor in sagas later on, and he's still a popular god today in certain
Popular in the
circles.
movies, you see him represented by Marvel in the Marvel universe. Although, is that the same Thor? Is it a mirror image of Thor? I mean, it's funny how they're not taking any other gods.
Yeah, well, he's the most popular.
He is the most popular god.
The most well known, but he gives great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the kind of dude you can go down the pub and have a few beers with.
Yeah.
Though,
Drink it dry, wouldn't he?
yeah, well, you would, yes.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to buy him a drink because
And
you'd be
I always
bankrupt.
enjoyed that episode of the Incredible Hulk, the old classic series from the 70s, when somebody found the hammer and he could bring Thor back to life, and Thor was hanging around with the Incredible Hulk. It's a very old the Hulk series, and I always remember that.
Ah.
It's strange what kind of imagery when you think about Thor you have, but it's certainly the most popular of the gods. And the tales of Thor and Loki are just incredible, really fun. So that's a little taste
vignette.
of Thor, and perhaps next week we could do another god. Is there a god or goddess you would like us to talk about? Then, well, you know what to do. You leave it in a comment, and we would more than happily talk about that. So let's do the riddles next.
Okay. Well, riddle 32.
This is from Vlog episode 12.
Do you want me to read the riddle out
You
again?
can read the riddle out to remind folk.
Let's remind you, the world is adorned in diverse ways, decorated with rare ornaments. I saw strange contraption, and experienced travellers grind against the gravel and move away screaming. This strange creature could not see. It had no shoulders, arms or hands. On one foot this oddity journeys most rapidly, far over the rolling sea. It has many ribs and a mouth. In its middle, most useful to men. It carried food in plenty, yielding tribute to all people, year by year, enjoyed by rich, enjoyed by the poor. Tell me if you can, O man of wise words, what this creature is?
That's a great little riddle.
And the creature is a long ship. You knew that.
Yes, and we did have some people guess that right, including Thaddeus, I believe. So
Number 52.
this is the riddle for this week, which you can guess.
I saw a couple of violent captives carried in under the roof of the hall. They were known by the same name, tightly reined, fettered together. Close to one stood a dark Welshman, a slave to oversee the prisoners' movements. I think that's a bit harder than this.
It is a bit harder, so if you can guess the answer to that riddle, then leave it in a comment, and we'll reply and talk about it in the next episode of the Vlog series.
If you want to cheat, the Exeter Riddle book by the Folio Society, Riddle 52. The answers are in the back.
Yeah, when we become affiliated with Amazon and we can find a copy, we'll talk about it and put a link into that at some point. But at the moment we're not affiliated, but we are thinking about it. It's just a matter of me finding the time.
Yeah.
Another idea about riddles is, because if we read all the riddles out, within a few months we'll be running out. So if you have a riddle yourself with a Dark Age Viking theme, perhaps send it to us with the answer, and we'll read it out and let our subs and viewers guess. I think that's great interaction there.
Yes.
So please leave us your riddles. Perhaps you could send them to me on Facebook. You can actually add me, Bragi. You'll also see my real name if you do on Facebook, and you can always say hello.
Yeah.
So I'm very talkative. So next thing we're going to talk about is what else is in Bragi's bucket. And I have something quite amazing in my bucket today, and you would not have thought you'd get this in my bucket, but what I have in here is the Bayeux Tapestry.
Oh, that old thing.
Oh, that old thing.
Yeah.
Now, you saw it, didn't you?
I saw a copy of it,
Yes.
but it's interesting.
And I, as a child, I can remember going up the A6 road into the Amber Valley, which is just up from where we live, and seeing it in an old building. So it must have been the same
It's
copy.
the same one, yeah.
Because we're not going to get out and show you every page of this. This is just to demonstrate the tapestry. But everyone's going to talk about it and give you a bit of a background.
Well, although the Bayeux Tapestry is in Bayeux, common opinion has it was done by the women of Kent. Now, what we're talking here, can you just hold a picture up, is telling two stories. The official line is the big pictures, and there's lots. We're still deciphering. I say we. Archaeologists are still deciphering what this means, but it reminds me a bit of anime, the Japanese cartoons. And we know that it was ordered to be done by the Maids of Kent, quote, and it was probably due to humiliate them, but they turned the tables on them. It tells the story of William, because there was no name. He wasn't called William, it's called William, and how he embarked upon becoming King of England. It's debatable. I think basically Edward the Confessor set this up, knowing full well that the Godwinsons would bite. And let's face it, they were a shifty lot.
Well, they were the Godwins. And we are going to make a video on them soon.
But having said that, William was... He had a pretty strong claim. But the weird thing is, he was friends with Harold Godwinson. And by the time he came over to attack Britain, he was on his last legs financially. He'd got blessings from the Pope, but he was running short of money, and the mercenaries, you don't keep them waiting for money.
Oh, no, you don't.
It was fortuitous for him that Harold Godwinson was up at Stamford Bridge dealing with the Vikings. To draw him out, we see in the picture, they burn villages, they kill the local people to draw Harold in, make him panic, make him act, whereas in reality all he had to do was circle them and just let them starve. But that wasn't in Harold's character, and it shows it. And then of course we see the battle scene, Senlac Ridge, translated as Gore Ridge. The the Saxons are defeated, and William marches on to London. He's crowned on Christmas Day, and the rest of the state's history. However, what does this have to do with Northworthy? Well, it has something which I haven't yet able to decipher. 1066, excuse me.
Good idea.
1066, 200 burgesses left Derby. Why they left and where they went, I have no idea. My theory is they were backing Harold, and they didn't succeed in it. Now, people say, why were the Normans so vicious? Well, Derby is a classic case. The area of Derby, Derby as it was called, ruled by a lord called Morcar. He changed allegiance 6 times in 6 months.
That's not a lot.
And started off where he started. So it's not surprising. Wherever William went, he found deceit. And I do feel sorry for him. And then there was the rebellion in the north, in Yorkshire, and followed the harrowing of the north. And that is, you couldn't bury your dead, you couldn't plant crops, you couldn't harvest crops. Basically, he starved them to death. He sowed the fields with salt, so he couldn't grow anything. And that included parts of North Derbyshire. And that's saying, look, don't mess with me. Don't mess with the best, because the best don't mess.
And that's warfare, that.
Yeah. Same with the casualties of the Battle of Hastings. He forbade them to be buried. So you've got this massive skeletal evidence lying around. It's to say, this is what happens if you mess with me. Obey me and things will be right. But he was a strange character.
He was quite ruthless, though.
Yeah, but you had to be. I mean, given that people kept deceiving him and things like that, he was known as Guillaume de Bassard, which means William the Bastard, because he was. But very oddly, for a king of his time, he was faithful to his wife. She was a little woman, but by little I mean she was only about 4'11". But he was faithful to her throughout his reign. He never took a mistress.
Yeah.
And
Kid at Cable.
as I say, quite an amazing chap. So Yeah, the Bayeux Tapestry, as I say, it's like a comic strip of its time. And if you're in on the joke, you look at the edges. That's where the story comes. And people are trying now to decipher it. Unfortunately, the Victorian copy that we both saw has been heavily censored.
I never realised that.
No, I didn't.
I was not
at the
done as a
time.
child.
I was only 12 when I saw it.
Yeah, I might have been the same age or a bit younger.
But having said that,
I think I bought a pencil when I was there.
yeah. but,
Souvenir.
but having said that, I mean, it shows how attitudes have changed. That obviously certain parts of gentleman's anatomy were omitted, which may be the very point of the joke. But humour is a strange thing. People forget about humour.
It's an old thing.
Yeah, every generation has its humour. I mean, we may not find it funny. I mean, you look at the World War II musical, comedians, they're not funny in my book. Even stuff in the 70s is aging, and it's because it's a dynamic concept. And let's face it, even Hitler probably had a sense of humour, but I don't think we'd have laughed much.
But if you got a Viking or Saxon here right now from the time when you told them a joke, and they could understand what you're telling them, but would they understand the joke? And would we understand their jokes?
Yeah,
It makes you think.
I think we would probably find their humour a little bit coarser, although we're heading towards that direction now. And you could say,
Yes.
we don't know of any jokes. We have got joke from ancient Greece.
I was going to say, what's the oldest joke in the world?
I think it's in ancient Greece, and it's about a man's wife, and I can't remember.
I think the oldest joke in the world is about two villagers.
Mm.
I mean, it often makes me think, did they tell jokes there was a Viking, a Saxon and a Duke? Did they tell those kind of jokes? Knock, who's at my long house door?
Walked into the mead hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the old woman the other day.
Yeah.
They had the doctor joke.
Some funny thing happened on the way to the battle.
This Viking once went to the old woman and said, "There's something wrong with me." He said, "I got all meat in my ear and I got all meat down my arm and in my pocket." He said, "Well, you're not eating properly."
But as I say, we'll move on.
Yes.
Humour is
Move
very
on.
individual, and who knows, perhaps we might find Yeldy Parchmentium jokers. But,
Yeah. I think what we're going to do on the Bayeux Tapestry is actually make a video on it, a much longer one, because I think we could talk about it for 20-30 minutes. And if you'd like to see that, then just please say yes. We urge you, Broggy and Eggle, to go and make that video, and we'll add it to the list. And I'll do some research.
there was a film by Clive James.
Clive Dunn,
No, there was a guy who's the solicitor.
Clive Owen.
Clive. He was on these quiz shows. Very, very clever man, solicitor.
What do you call a Saxon with a seagull on his head? Cliff.
Anyway, ignore him. There is a great video about the Bayeux Tapestry, because the part where Harold's getting killed is where the join in the glass is. There you go. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, very quickly before I tell you some more jokes.
Please don't.
We're going to talk about a TV show I saw the other night called Medieval Dead.
Yeah, and I missed it.
Yeah, I did going to send you a text, but you had company, so
Yeah, I actually missed it twice because it was on PBS America.
Oh yes, and this was a Viking Dead special talking about Lindisfarne. I thought I could just chat about that for a couple of minutes. I thought it was a very good episode. You know, a couple of things I got out of it. Well, I got thinking, well, what did the Vikings do? Where did they go afterwards? Did they just simply go home?
Well, we know these raids, you have a raid in season.
I mean, we know that there's no named party to the raid. Was there?
Well, we know, see, everybody says Lindisfarne was the first raid. There was a raid at Porchester in about 953, something like that. And a reeve.
So that's much later, isn't it?
Yeah, well, no, this is before Lindisfarne, sorry. He was giving it some over taxes because the Vikings landed, so they promptly upped and killed him. But I suppose the proper, what we would call a raid, would be Lindisfarne 993.
And it also makes you think, well, why is there
793.
no record from Scandinavia of the raid? Although that's probably down to the fact that there was no named leader to the raid, and therefore there's very lucky or no evidence really, as far as I'm aware.
One of the problems with literature is, about the time of Henry VIII with the dissolution of the monasteries, a lot of documents, a lot of parchments were burned.
Well, of course so, in England.
In fact, one part of the story was found in about 1700 when a bloke had this book and the bindings went, and he opened it up and there was a page of an unknown saga.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, Henry VIII, bless him, I can see his point, but at the same time he burnt a lot of stuff which would have been very useful.
Would that be the same in Scandinavia? Did they have a lot of their literature burnt?
It could be burnt, but also rats love parchment.
Well, of course so, yes.
And there's natural accidents, things like that. There's also political censorship, and one of the interesting things, which is related to this, is that very little is said about Queen Athelflaed in the Anglo-Saxon chronicles. There is a theory that there was a chronicle of Athelflaed, but we haven't got it. And this relates back possibly to Henry VIII, who may have had it burnt accidentally or purposely, we don't know. And that's the problem, we don't know. What we've got is just a very small history.
Yes.
But getting back to the raid, Lindisfarne, you'd think after the raid everybody would avoid it. No, they were actually queuing up to go to Lindisfarne as monks because they wanted to be a martyr.
So, I know this is a strange question going off subject, but so let's say in some years' time we had developed the technology to time travel.
Yeah,
Would archaeologists go back in time to collect evidence and collect the missing things?
I certainly
Would that be allowed? Would that be ethical? I mean, I think if we had the, let's say, DARPA had a time machine, allegedly, and they could send us back, we could go and collect the missing sagas.
Good.
But would that be ethical, and would archaeology want to do that? I would.
I would.
Oh yeah.
It's this quest for information, as long as you don't upset the balance of time.
Could that
which-
happen in the future? I mean, I
Yeah.
often like to think about the future, where we're going to end up. You see the revolution in technology. I mean, it's very much like the revolution of iron from your Bronze Age.
Well, 100 years ago, would you have thought that man could have landed on the moon?
Oh
and
no,
really sent satellites?
100 years have gone from horse and cart, or just over 100 years, to being on the moon.
Or medicine. Would you have thought 100 years ago that smallpox would be a thing of the
Well,
past?
no.
But,
But it does make you think, would that, if time travel was available, it would be a very unique source to get all that missing information.
Oh, yeah.
And there is a lot of missing information. And it's important that we could try to get that in the future.
yeah, well, who knows? One day.
If they need some volunteers, perhaps we can send us back.
Yeah.
I don't think it will last long.
Well, you're talking about digging. Well, I was talking about digging, as you know, in vlog 13.
Oh, actually, have you covered digging then?
Well, just to recap a little bit.
Yeah.
As I said in vlog 13, archaeology and history is for everybody. And you don't need a degree to
Of
go
course
digging. What, as I said before, we had pensioners at one dig. They had a tea urn going, and they were washing the bones and pottery. And as we came in to chop them off, and they said, "What's this?" We said, "Oh, it's a bit of pot, there's a bit of bone." And they're having a grand old time. So, as I say, I'll recap again. Get on the internet, find out where your archaeological trusts are, i.e. the people that employ you, have a go. And you remember Guy in Derby Group, he used
Oh,
to
you
go,
talked about him before, yes.
well, he goes
What's his
every
name?
year, Mark, goes every year with his wife, Shona, hi if you're watching, to Vinderlandia. And they make a holiday of it, and they enjoy themselves.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
Great place to dig.
don't be afraid. If you want to have a go, have a go.
Just while you're talking about digging, we'll just go back to the Viking Dead TV show I watched. They've currently been doing some digging at Lindisfarne. They don't know the location, do they, of the original site?
Is that where they found graves?
They have found some graves.
Non-Viking ones.
I think the graves are later, but they are doing a lot of research. They found on the pinnacle of stone they found a building.
Oh, right.
So I think one day we are going to find the lost remains of Lindisfarne, and we are going to find more evidence for the battle, or for the raid anyway.
Well, the raid is vastly overplayed because there are only 3 deaths. One of those was a monk who got drowned accidentally.
Did any of the Vikings die?
We don't know.
So
I'm
that's something
assuming
I was
not.
thinking.
I'm assuming not because they're not mentioned.
Well, perhaps if you get to watch the programme, we can actually do a review on it. Would you like to see us review this programme itself and talk about it, and then we can find some links, perhaps on the internet to the programme itself? We could do that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that's. Have we got anything else?
No, well, we've got to try to carry on for a couple more minutes. We've already been doing it for about half an hour, and we'll just try to finish off. Let's talk about, do you have any ideas for the vlogs? I mean, do you like how they're going? If you've got any ideas, if you say, well, can you try this? Can you do this? We're always willing, aren't we, to try different and new things on the channel. So if you've got any ideas for the vlogs, or how we can improve the channel,
You could always have the egg yolk trap.
yeah, please do. He nearly tripped over a hose pipe earlier.
I didn't nearly. I actually
He did. Sorry, he did fall over a hose pipe. It was my fault because I left it out there.
Yeah. I hold him entirely
Bad
responsible. He
driving.
was naughty boy. Ow.
I'm a man. I hate it when somebody calls me a boy, especially on Xbox. I'm a man. Go away.
Voici un homme.
Oh yeah.
But a green hose pipe on the lawn. Yeah. Mind you, your lawn is looking pretty good now.
It is. We'll do some combat videos soon again, and
I'll bring my gloves this
bring your
time.
gloves.
I bought them specially and I thought, I won't forget them. And guess what? I forgot them.
Well, I do have spare gloves somewhere around
I know,
here.
but I spent £1, man.
Oh, that's a lot of money. That £1.
Oh,
That's about $1.40 in America.
yeah. I spare no expense. I'm that kind of guy.
Now next week we'll be filming some more content. So one thing we're looking for is some more comments. We're building up some more comments to read out for the second episode of the Reading the Comments videos series. We are going to get back to the vlogs as well at some point. So if you've got any questions you'd like to ask Egil or myself, then please leave it in a comment and I'll select them for the video. We're going to be doing quite a few trailers in the next few weeks, so I'm looking forward to them.
If I may quote Bob Dylan, looks like hard rain's going to fall.
Yeah, well, that's not a house, that's a home.
I mean,
That's a Bob Dylan quote.
Oh, right.
No, it's alright, we've got 5 minutes and we'll go. Egil's got a doctor's appointment today.
Oh, there must be some kind of way out of here.
Yeah, they didn't have doctor's appointment back in the day, did they?
Well, he wasn't as rigidly adhered to as today. You had holy men, wise women,
Oh,
and herbal remedies.
the kids aren't round.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I'll over to you on that one.
Yes, so for now, I think I'm going to have to go. We've been invaded by 3 children, good lord. And we're going to see you in the next vlog, vlog 50 of this series. So,
Bye, Hill.
was hail, goodbye,
Bye-bye.
pose.